Hello, today I want to show you how to add and delete events from a Google Calendar. This will be helpful now that they have moved the sign-up sheets for the conference room, the science lab, and also the instructional classroom online instead of a paper version. So the first thing is we have to be able to get to our calendar. So what we're going to do is go up here to our waffle, click on the waffle, and when the drop-down menu opens, you'll notice one of your choices is calendar. I could click on that and it would take me there, but unfortunately sometimes my calendar doesn't always pop up. So how do I get there then? I'm going to go up to my Omnibox, clear out what's there, and I'm going to type in calendar.google.com and hit enter. When I do that, it automatically takes me to my calendars. One of the things when you get here is it will show up in the default view of 1 week. If you don't like that, over here on the right, you have the option to change. I'm a big fan of the month view, so I select on month. Next thing, over here on the left-hand side, you'll notice that I have my calendars and I have other calendars. What's the difference between them? Well, the biggest thing is this. You have the right to view any calendars in those lists, but the only ones that you can edit are the ones in my calendars. So for example, I have one from D100, it's the school calendar, and it's in other calendars. I can look at it, but I cannot add or take events away. Another little trick I want to show you about the calendars here before we start learning how to put and take events off is that sometimes when we start getting a lot of calendars, we may not necessarily want to see all the events from those calendars because it makes our calendar very cluttered. So I have the right to be able to decide what I see. Very simply, if I go to the calendar I want, I'm going to use the D100 school calendar, there's a little colored box next to it. I'm going to click on that box. And notice when I clicked on it, all those brown events disappeared. So now if I want to add the events back on, I click on the box again, and you can see that those events have now shown back up on my calendar. So how do I add an event to the calendars that I can actually edit? Well, I'm going to go to this create box here. And I want to show you one little thing. Next to the create box, there's a little drop down arrow that says quick add. Please do not use that option. That option will only put an event on your default calendar, which means that it will not go under the right calendar and you will not have the room reserved. Instead, make sure you click on the create box and you know that you've done it right when you see this box open. Now I need to put a little information in here. The first thing is I'm going to need to title what it is that I'm doing. And for mine, I'm going to do Screencastify training, and I'm going to put my name with it so everybody knows that I'm doing it. I need to change my date. By default, it's automatically going to go to whatever day it is. And I don't need it today. I need it on the 27th of November. So I click the date, and now I want what time do I want that from. So if I want it at 2:20, I'm going to scroll down and you'll notice it's 2 and 2:30. Well, if I click on 2:30, I can go into the box and change that to 2:20. And now I come over to the ending time, and you'll notice everything's in increments of 30 minutes, which works out perfectly because I want 30 minutes to go to 2:50. You do have the right to change that time. So if you need it for, an hour and 15, you can change it to an hour and 15. Here's the big thing that you want to make sure you check. Which calendar is this going on? I hit my drop down arrow. And you'll notice I want the LES instructional classroom. Right now it's on my work schedule. Yes, that's important to me, but no one else will know I need the room. So if I choose the LES instructional classroom, I now have chosen the classroom. I have my date, my time, what it is, and now I need to save it. So once I hit save, it gives me a note that that event has been saved. But let's double check it. Let's use that little trick that I gave you. I'm going to go over to the LES instructional classroom. I'm going to click on the box and notice it appears. I have reserved the LES instructional classroom. So awesome. But now let's say I realize I don't need it anymore, or I need to modify what I put in. If I click on the event itself, this little box will open. Notice if I click edit event, it will take me back to that original box that you saw, and I can make any edits I want. Once again, make sure you hit save. If I want to delete it, I click on the event, and I'm going to click delete. And you will see now that that event is gone. It has also given me a message that that event is gone as well. A second way that I can add or delete events is if I go to the calendar itself. So if you don't want to have to remember about which calendar to change, just choose the calendar, and you'll notice there's a little drop down arrow. I click on it, and one of the things it's going to say is create event on this calendar. So I click on it, and it gives me the same box that I had before. So I'm going to go Screencastify training, putting my name because I'm the one who wants it. I am going to choose my date of the 27th. Once again, I'm going to adjust the times because they don't have exactly what I want, but they do allow me to make those adjustments. It's already on the instructional classroom calendar for me because that's the calendar that I chose. I hit save, and notice my event is there. So there's how you add and delete events from a Google